What's going on, Weld 2 family? My name is Rocky Vilas. I'm a specialty welder from Houston, Texas. And today we're going to be doing a 4-inch restricted test, 2-inch monster coupon, 10 inches off the ground. So, hope this helps y'all out. Let's get to it. Alright guys, so this is a 4-post restricted test. This test right here is kind of more tighter than the ones that you'll see like at Dynamic for another company. The other restricted test, they got like more space. This was a little bit tighter. It's like I'll say like a box simulator or something like that. I do similar tests like this for different companies when I'm out there working on the road. If you're getting into this lifestyle, want to know more about it, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Links down below, Rocky Welds with a Z. And I'm going to be showing y'all there how I got started, how I got to where I'm at now, and how I got everything that I accomplished. So this is going to be a monster coupon. I have my loose 532 gap on there, and these are the tools that I'm going to be using. So one of the tools is going to be the grinder, but just for the tacks, but because we cannot fit the grinder in there, so we're not even going to touch the grinder, but only for your tacks though. Mainly just to get started is my section sharpener and my Nib Picks wire cutters. Cuts good, like butter. And for my shade, I'm going to be using a shade 10. I'm going to be using this Weld tube hood with the Weld tube adapter. Alright guys, and on my pipe, I tacked it up on 3 spots. I tacked it up on 12 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. I left the bottom open, that way I could fix my body position and, and maneuver and make sure I'm getting, the right start. So that's why I didn't tack the bottom. For the wire, I'm going to be using a 70S2, and I want to talk to you guys about why I got the tungsten stuck out like this. It's not normal when you're welding regular pipe, but when you're welding restricted, you gotta have your argon up high and that tungsten out a little bit. That way you can get into the root good and you can penetrate, because if not, you're gonna be hitting your cup and you're gonna be missing steps. You might not even tie into the root right. So that's why I got my tungsten like that stick out. Not too much, but like enough where I could reach the root and wiggle a little bit. All right guys, so before I even start this test, I go ahead and analyze this, because like I said in other videos, you don't wanna come up and then be jammed up in the bind because of your body position. So right now you got to analyze it, make sure where you're going to tackle your angles first and where you're going to position your body at. Alright guys, so right now we're going to show the body position that I'm going to be using. So I'm going to get down to the ground. I'm going to make sure I can see where I'm going to start at the bottom. Like I said guys, I'm going to try to go as far as right as I can. That way I can make that side easier, because I always like to tackle the hard side first. So with the hood, I'm gonna look, see what I want to do. I'm gonna lay my wire on this tack, and I'm gonna backfeed it as far as right as I can and bring it up to my left side. On this second tack right here, I might have to bend my wire, but I'll show you that right now when I get to it. All right, guys. So now I'm gonna talk about how I'm gonna hold my TIG rig. You could always find places to rest your hand at right here, or these poles, but I rest it right here in this plate. That way I can have more maneuver and stuff. A lot of people hold their TIG rig different ways, but this is the way I hold mine to tackle this test. So now we're gonna measure the tungsten. That way I don't hit the walls, and see how far I need to take my tungsten out. So right here we're looking pretty good. And then you see, see, look, right now we're doing pretty good. I'm gonna probably have to stop a little bit, that way I could change my precision and then bring it back up and bend my wire, that way I could get that tie in. Alright guys, so for the root I'm running at 110 with the 70S2 wire. So having these poles be even tighter, your root, when you're doing it, you're gonna have to stop quite a little bit. Not all the time, right, but when you get close to the poles, you're gonna have to stop. So that's why I'm stopping right here. So one thing to watch out for is the push, because sometimes whenever you're pushing and it's just a little bit and you push too hard, you're gonna have like a not a big bubble, but you can probably get some cold wire in there, so you got to watch out for that. Also make sure that your body is comfortable, that way you don't get any bind or anything, and you're doing everything at your own pace. And last but not least, be careful as well, because you can't use the grinder here because you're not going to fit to get in your root if you have anything. So minimize your mistakes, always analyze, like I said, look at everything first, and try to be careful with it. Also, you're gonna have to bend your wire a little bit here to get in your tie-ins, because whenever you grind into it, you're putting a little groove, and having the pipes in the way, I mean, you can't really get that wire to get flush in whenever you're tying in. So make sure you bend your wire at whatever you like. Everybody got their own technique, but this is my technique, and I hope it helps y'all out. But this is what I do. And for the hot pass, I'm running at 160. So always be mindful because it's not hot and it's not too hot and it's not too cold, but make sure you have your wire on that route. That way, and you spread it to the walls, up and down, up and down. That way you'll have no confusion and it's hot enough to burn both walls. But do not stay at one. I know this is kind of tight, but do not stay at one spot too long because you will suck it back and you might get some undercut if you suck it back too much. And like I said, you can't not fit a grinder in here, so you got to be mindful of everything. And also one last thing whenever you're filling up, you're gonna carry some silica. So make sure that you have your tungsten pointed kind of at a 45-degree angle if you can. That way you could have that silica always in the front, because sometimes if you're not burning too hot, you can trap that slack in your weld and it will bust bend or whatever or if they shoot it, it will bust, because silica, whenever it gets under your weld, man, it's kind of hard to get out, especially in this right now that we can't use a grinder. You see how right here I'm moving my head a little bit whenever I'm welding? That's because I don't want to stop. If I have enough room to keep on going, but I got to move my head a little bit, I'll kind of just pause what I'm doing real fast, move my head and continue going. That's a little technique that I use. That way I can get it done quicker and have less stops and less silica, because when you stop, that little bubble forms and all that, and you don't want to be battling with that your whole way up because something might happen. All right, guys, so on the fills too, whenever you're filling up, the way I do it is after the root, I do one pass on it before I start stacking, and then I might do another pass. In this instance, I am. So I'm gonna weave it a little bit more, and on my third pass, I'm gonna start stacking it. So whenever I start stacking it, I'm already at 180. Eventually, when we're almost flush, we'll be at 220, 215. After the root, I do one pass, the hot pass, then I'll put probably another hot pass before I start stacking. That way, because we're gonna turn up the heat whenever we start stacking up. So we're at 160 on the first hot pass. On the second hot pass, I'll turn it up to 175. And whenever we start stacking, we can put it up to 200 and we can start feeding that wire in there. So we're gonna start stacking 2 beads, and then after 2 passes with the 2 beads, we're gonna do 3 beads. So 3 beads all the way out at a 210, 220, whatever you feel comfortable, because you don't want it to be too hot. And now for the cap, you could also bend your tungsten at a 45-degree angle. That way, it ain't gonna look perfect. You are gonna have stops because the poles are in the way. It's not like you can go all the way around with it, but you can take your time if the inspector's lenient. But if not, as long as you shoot right. But you always gotta take pride in your work. So I always try to make your work look the best. All right, guys, so that's it for the 4-post restricted test, 10 inches off the ground. Kind of tired already because I do got to drive 9 hours after this to go to Borger, but I had to do this one for y'all before I leave. A lot of good guys out there, though, too, that taught me good things, like Q and Fernando and Jose Hernandez and all them guys out there, good guys in the field. So one last thing, and before I forget, I'm going to have a YouTube channel. It's going to be called Rocky Welds with a Z. And I'm gonna be showing y'all there how I got to where I'm at now and how I got into all this stuff and life on the road, working in the plants as being a specialty welder. So y'all check that out, links in the description. Appreciate it, and I'll see y'all next time.